It also is building some oral language. Oral is what? Speaking. You have to speak a little. Now you use a lot of Mandarin, that's okay. But it's also practicing a little saying the words in English maybe. Okay? And then creating some interest. So when I said we're learning math today, at first you were probably a little scared. Maybe you are still scared, but maybe a little more comfortable too. Okay? Questions about word sort? Okay? Question? Any questions? Good? Okay. All right. So that was explicit vocabulary instruction. Next, we're going to practice with scaffolding. Scaffolding. This one's going to be a little faster. Scaffolds. You see this here? What is this? What is that? It's a building. They're doing, it starts with a C. What's the verb? Or the noun? They're constructing. They're in construction. They're building, creating a new building. Those are called scaffolds. They're ladders and levels so the workers can stand on them and to help hold the building in place. When the building is done, what do you do with the scaffolds? Do the scaffolds stay there forever? No. You tear them down, you take them away. In teaching, scaffolds you take away. When the students are doing a good job, when they are advanced, you take them away. You use scaffolds at the beginning to help students, to help them at the beginning. You don't use them forever, you take them away. But at the beginning, you help them. You use them to help students. They are temporary. Students need more scaffolds when it's new material. If they're lower proficiency, they need more scaffolds. Okay? So these are some types of scaffolds. We say, do you know comprehensible? To comprehend, to understand, to understand. Comprehensible input is what you're hearing, what you're seeing. So you want to, you want to limit, reduce, limit the lecture or textbook. Only a little. You want to add pictures, videos, gestures. What are gestures? Demonstrations, graphic organizers, like a Venn diagram, yes, or a worksheet with boxes, graphic organizers. Comprehensible output is speaking or writing. Output, input, output, okay? You need to give students vocabulary, sentence starters, and resources. Their peers can be resources. Translation, use Google Translate. Yes, that's a resource. That helps with the talking and speaking. And then also, what else do you need?
Need more time to think about it?
Yeah, you need time to think. It's hard. It's hard to think in another language about math. Doing math and English today, you are going to need time to think. Okay? Don't worry, we're not doing equations. Just vocabulary today. Okay? Okay, so this is a very simple scaffold. Think, pair, share. Have you heard of that? Some? Okay. So with think, pair, share, first, I want you to think about these words. Think about these words. Look at your pictures and look at all the words from your pictures. How are they the same and how are they different? So step one is to what? Think. Okay, look at the pictures and think. Then step 2, I think when I downloaded this, it changed it all to 1. That's a 2. 2 is to turn to a partner and share. How are they the same? Ooh. How are they different? I don't know what just happened. Now you can hear me better. Do I need this? I think you can. Can you hear me like this? Yes. Okay. That was scary. Okay, so part 2 is to pair, okay, and discuss. Part 3, I'm going to have you share with the whole class. So if you need to write and practice an English sentence, please write it and practice with your peer, okay? Because you might stand up or not stand up, but share the whole class, okay? So scaffolding, what's the scaffolding? What's one scaffold? What am I giving you? What's one scaffold? I gave you some pictures. Yes. What's another scaffold that I'm giving you? The words and definitions of vocabulary. What about the resources? Peers. That's another scaffold. What else? Translation. Another scaffold. What else? Time to think. What else? More? I'm going to give you some sentence starters to help you. Okay, some sample sentences. So I'm giving you lots of scaffolds, lots of help for this activity. So you're going to think about, how are these two shapes the same? You're going to use this sentence here. This and this are similar because they both, this and this are different because blank has, but blank has. Okay, so you need to use the academic words, the math words. All right, so use your pictures. So listen to my example. What's that called? What's this shape? The rectangle and square are similar because they both have 4 sides and also 4 right angles. The rectangle and square are different because the rectangle has 2 longer sides and 2 shorter sides, good. But the square has all the same sides. A lot of English. Use your translation, use these sentences. Write one similar sentence and one different sentence for anything, okay? Pick 2 shapes, and similar and a different. Okay, how many sentences do you need? 2. For each one? No. Just one similar, one different. Pick any shape, okay? Go ahead and, start. First think, don't talk. First think. If you need to write, write. Don't talk, no talking. First think. Look at your pictures, use Google Translate, write. So first think, don't talk, no talking. If you need to write some ideas, write some ideas. You can use any pictures from any group, not just your group, any group pictures is okay. You cannot use square and rectangle. That is cheating. Pick a different one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I see we have a couple new people, but if you need, are you part of this or just observing? So I'm going to count you off. You have to talk to someone new. Okay. So you're going to number. So 1, 2, 3. We'll do up to I think 8, 9. But we may have a group of 3. So we'll start here in the back. 1. 1. Yes, you're number 1. 2. 3. Say the number. 4. 4. 5. 6 together. 7. 8. 9. 1.
1.
2. So I think 9 will be with 8. So 1, raise your hand. Look, find 1. Raise your hand. You're 1, right? Write your number down. This is always hard for students too. 2, raise your hand. Look, where's your partner? You see? Just 2 people. 3, raise your hand. Look for your partner. 4, raise your hand. Find your partner. Where's your partner? Okay. 5, find your partner. 6, find your partner. 7, 8, there should be 3. Yes. Okay. All right. Stand up. Find your partner and pair. Share your sentences. Share your sentences. Stand up. You need to stand for this. Do not sit. Get some exercise. Share your sentences. Say your number loud when you can't find your partner.
And I think she can present the same because it's simple. Because they both out as 3 sheets. Let me see.
Are different because parallel has two pairs of parallel lines, 1 and 2 pairs. Yes. They are similar because they have 4 sides. Yeah. And parallelogram are different because parallelogram has 2 pairs of parallel lines, and another one has just 1 parallel line. Because our last activity is to take a picture of other people. They already show you a picture.
一个是最熟，一个是另外一个好熟。可以，也是可以，这都可以，反正就自己找。反正就是找，多找，找然后叫他们找名字。起码不要紧，但我觉得这不简单，这简单。像有那个教那个说是这样说，找这个更简单。
Okay, go ahead and pause. Stay where you are. Just look at me. Okay, good. So stay where you are and look at me. See, the hands help because you see others raise their hands. So how many of you spoke at least one English sentence? Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone. Everyone, hopefully. How many of you used proper English grammar? Do you think? Maybe. What helped you? I helped you. I gave you scaffolds. So good grammar. English, you're learning English. What else were you learning now? Not just English, but what? What are you talking about in English? Your friends? Your hobbies?
About explaining the content.
Yes, math, content, right? So I think while you were practicing, you had to think about the math, right? What was the same about these or different? That's math, that's content, that's not English. That's content. But you're also practicing your English at the same time. And you're getting lots of scaffolds, talking with your peers and your partner. If we had more time, I would have you talk and ask each other some questions and maybe practice some more sentences. If I'm a teacher, I might worry, what if they're wrong? I would ask you to write your sentences and turn them in, and I would check them. Check for the content and the language. Okay, so at the end I would collect and check, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. So go ahead and say thank you to your partner. Wait, if you don't know their name, ask their name, then say thank you to them with their name. So.
David, and thank you for sharing. David.
Jasmine.
And then you can say,
好像我刚刚忘记了，算是对，算是还行，可以啊，掉一下，你有修过吗？我刚刚在。
Okay. So when would I use this strategy? I would use this in the middle of a lesson after you've practiced a little. So I'd use it in the middle. I would also use this to give you time to reflect, to listen to other ideas, listen to your peers. So maybe if this is hard for you and you are with a partner who is very smart, maybe you will learn together. Okay? If I'm, as a teacher, I let you sit next to each other, maybe sitting next to a friend, maybe, but I made you move around and get to know other students. I do that a lot in my classes. Sometimes if I know you better, I might pick your partner. So I might put you with a partner I know you can help each other. Okay? So there's lots of different partners you can use. This gave you, I gave you scaffolds, but you also had an opportunity to practice and speaking. So now in this class today, you've been able to speak many times. It's not just me speaking, it's also you are also speaking. That's important. Okay, so let's talk about engaging pedagogy. For engaging pedagogy, you want to use real objects when you can. We call this realia. So experiments, I think, what was your name? David? So you mentioned actual objects, so I could bring in some of these shapes. I could bring in real objects, like a circle, like a ball, a sphere. I could bring in a ball. For children, I would bring in a ball. I might ask students what shape this is here. A rectangle. Let's pretend this is the same size. Okay, it's not. But what is this shape, 3D? Pretend it's all the same size. Cube, right? If it was a square, it would be a cube. Okay? It's not, but okay. So I would bring in real objects. This helps. Today I don't because I was traveling a lot, so it's a little hard. I also want to bring manipulatives, things that students can touch and move. Touch and move. So cards, these cards, they're manipulatives. You can move them. I'm going to give you more cards that you can move today. Okay? In a science class, experiments would be manipulatives. In a history class, I might bring real objects in, or pictures of famous scenes, or a map. Those can all be different manipulatives. Okay, so we're going to do another activity. This one's a little tricky, I'm warning you. But you've practiced a lot with the vocabulary, so it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. This strategy is called I have, who has. I have, who has. You are going to need your pictures for this. Your pictures, how many words did we have? I think about 42, if I counted right. Your pictures, you have a picture, a word, and a definition for 42 words. Okay? Those 42 words are on these cards. Okay? But I think I only have maybe 30 cards in here, so not all. I am going to give each one of you at least one card. Some of you will have 2 cards. Okay? So So I'm going to pass these out. Don't look at them yet. Let me explain. But I'm going to pass these out. Can I maybe get a helper to pass? Give everyone one to start. And then if you are okay with 2 cards, please tell Natasha she can give you 2 cards. Okay. So all of you are going to have a card, maybe 2 cards. So look here, not at Natasha. Look here. Okay? On the card is a question. On the card is a question. I have something. Who has? That's the question. Who has is the question. I'm going to ask a question. Who has? And someone has the answer on their card. So they have to look at their card. Oh, I have that. And then that person stands up and says, I have the answer. And then there's a question. Who has? New question. We're going to practice, okay? So for instance, if student 1 says, I have, oops, we're going to start with the arrow. Who has lines which intersect to form a 90-degree angle? What's the answer to that question? What is lines that intersect to form a 90-degree angle? What's that called? Lines that intersect to form a 90-degree angle. It's a right angle, but any angle. So what's that called? Yeah, I heard perpendicular. That's different than parallel lines, right? Parallel lines are side by side. Perpendicular lines intersect to form a 90-degree angle. So student 1 says, this is tricky, I warned you. Who has lines which intersect to form 90 degrees? The answer is, that's not right. It should be, yeah, it should be perpendicular. So I answer the question, then I read the next one. Okay? Who has the value of pi to the hundredths place? What's the answer? Do you know what pi is? Yeah, so what's the value of pi to the 100ths place? 3.14. Yeah, one of you has that, yes. Okay, so you'd stay up and you'd say, I have 3.14. Then I read my question. Okay? We're going to try this. It's usually a little tricky the first time, but in a classroom we would play this game a lot and it would get easier. Okay, so we're going to start and we're going to go very slowly to start. Okay, so if you have the card with the star, look at your cards. Then look at your cards. Are there more? Yes. Okay, who is okay with us 2 cards? Raise your hand if you can take 2 cards. We need to pass out all these cards. Everybody might need 2 cards. Okay, everybody gets 2 cards. Just pick. No one volunteers. We need to use all the cards because they have the answers. All the cards have to work together. So look at your card. Use Google Translate if you need to. Use Google Translate if you need to. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. If you need Google Translate, use it. This is a good time. Use your pictures. Remember your pictures. You will, yes. Your pictures will help you. Okay. If you need to check with your partner how to say something, check with them now. If you don't know how to pronounce or raise your hand, I will help you. Because you are going to read the card to the class. If you need help, raise your hand or ask a partner. Do you know how to say everything? I will help you. If pronunciation is difficult, I will help you. Just raise your hand. So if someone says it's the question, and it's see the flat surface that extends, then you say, that's me, I have it. Any other questions? Okay, we're going to start. In this game, you have to listen very carefully. You have to listen very carefully. We will probably mess up. It's the first time, usually we mess up. Okay? That's okay. We'll start again. We'll fix it. If we had a long time or a whole class, we would try again tomorrow. Okay? If we mess up, it's okay today. We're going to just try. But you have to listen carefully. Okay? Because you have to listen for your question. Okay. So you have to start. So go ahead and nice and loud so everyone can hear. You can stand, yes. And then you're reading the question. So listen for the answer. The answer is at the top in capital letters. So listen to the question. Do you have the answer? That's what you're listening, okay? So the question is,
who has the lines with intersect to form 90 degrees angles?
say it one more time.
Who has the lines with intersect to form 90 degrees angles?
What's the answer to that? What's the answer? We did this. We practiced. What was the answer? Perpendicular lines. Who has perpendicular lines? Okay, good. So sit. So stand up. Say, I have
perpendicular lines.
Now stop, because we're going to go slowly, okay? Does everybody see? She asked a question. Who has lines which intersect to form 90 degrees? He has what? The answer, which is, what's the answer? What are two lines that intersect to form 90 degrees? Perpendicular lines, okay? Now he's going to ask a question. You need to listen and understand the question. This is tricky. Okay.
Who has a five-sided polygon?
Say it one more time.
Who has a five-sided polygon?
Who has a five-sided polygon? What's a five-sided polygon? Don't sit yet. Polygon is a shape. Yes. Okay, so say it nice and loudly though. Say, stand up, you're right. Yes. I have a pentagon. Yes. So what's a five-sided shape? Everyone, what's a five-sided shape? Pentagon. Okay? Pentagon. Okay. Are we understanding? You have to listen. This is tricky. So now read the question.
Who has the point where two rays meet to form an angle?
Say it nice and loudly. You did it perfectly, but nice and loudly.
Who has the point where two rays meet to form an angle?
The point at which two rays meet. Rays, what are rays? Like lines. to form an angle. Anybody know the answer? Help each other. What is it? It's a vertex, right? Okay, yes, good. Okay. Good. So you can sit. Now wait. So what is a point where two rays meet to form an angle? What's that called? A vertex. If I'm in the classroom, you are writing these answers on your sheet. Because later, what am I going to do? Test you. Okay, not today, right? But in a class, we would test later, right? Okay, so I have a vertex. Okay? Say.
Who has the value of pi to the 100th place?
I have pi.
So say it. I have 3.
I have 3.14.
Right. What is 3.14? Pi to the hundredths place. After the decimal is the tenths place, then the hundredths place. Okay, hundredths. Remember, we're learning English. It's math class, but we're also learning English. Yes? Okay, so nice and loudly.
Who has the point which separates a line segment into two congruent segments?
It's a little tricky. Say it again, nice and slowly.
Who has the point which separates a line segment into two congruent segments?
What does congruent mean? It's the same. So who has a line segment? You have the answers on your pictures, remember. All of these words are on your pictures. Who has a line that separates? You want to think so? What do you think?
I have midpoint.
So say it loud and nice so everyone can hear.
I have midpoint.
So what's a midpoint? It's a line that separates into two congruent, which means the same, right, sections. Okay. Nice and loud.
Who has a flat surface which continues infinitely in all directions?
Good. Say it again.
Who has a flat surface which continues infinitely in all directions?
Yep.
I have a plan.
Yes. Say it one more time.
I have plan.
Okay, so she has a plane, which is a, what was the question?
A flat surface.
A flat surface that continues
Infinitely.
infinitely forever in all directions. Is a plane. It's a plane. Okay, question.
Who has the instruments used to measure an angle in degrees? Who has the instruments used to measure an angle in degrees?
I have protractor.
Protractor. Yes. Do you know what a protractor is? Measures angles.
Who has the side of angle with more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees?
So say that one more time. Who has?
Who has the side of angle with more than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees?
More than 90. Okay.
I have obtuse angle.
Good. Say it one more time, but a little louder.
I have obtuse angle.
Obtuse. Obtuse. More than 90, but less than 180. Show me an obtuse angle with your hands. Obtuse. Right? Show me a straight angle. Show me an acute angle. Good. Okay, do next question.
Who has an 8-sided polygon?
Say it one more time, nice and loud.
Who has an 8-sided polygon?
How many sides?
8.
8. What was a polygon? Shape.
I have octagon.
Good, octagon.
Who has the instrument used to construct circle?
Who has the instrument?
Used to construct circle.
What's it called? What's the instrument? You're good. Yep, you asked it right. You did a good job. What is it? What's it called? Look at your picture. Some of you had the answer. What's the instrument to construct circles? A compass. Who has compass? Someone has compass. Yep. Ah, there you go. Got it? Okay. Yes.
So compass, who has the type of a triangle with all angles less than 90 degrees?
Good. Say it one more time nice and loudly.
Who has the type of a triangle with all angles less than 90 degrees?
Good. We just did that. All angles less than 90 degrees. What kind of triangle?
I have a cute triangle.
Good. Go ahead and sit down for just a moment. You did a good job. Sit down. We're going to pause here, okay? Because I want to show you some more. Do you understand this game?
Yes.
Tricky. It's tricky, right? What kind of English is it measuring? What did you have to do for this? You have to listen. So listening comprehension. You have to speak. You had to read too. If you were in class with me, you would write the answers when you heard them. Okay? I do this and I left my pointer. I move everywhere and I lost my pointer. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay. I do this in my classroom too. Okay, so I have who has, this is a good review activity. A good review. Then I might mix it up and we would go faster. Okay, did you see at the beginning we went slowly, but then we got a little faster. If we did it again and practiced lots of times, you would have different cards. Eventually we would get very fast. You all did a good job. We didn't mess up. We just ran out of time. This is good for practicing vocabulary and also oral language, speaking, pronunciation. This is a little hard. Academic words in English, the pronunciation was a little hard, right? Okay, so opportunities for students to practice language with their peers. We're going to do one more strategy here. I think this is the last one. Yes, last one. Okay, so this one is talk it out. I'm going to put you in partners, and we'll probably line up here, where one partner will face this way, one partner will face this way. Okay? One player is going to see the screen. Who's going to see the screen? Partner A or partner B? A. Can partner B see the screen? No. Okay? So partner A is going to be the talker. Okay? They're going to talk. Partner B is the listener and the guesser. Okay? The talker tries to get their partner to say the word by describing them. So partner A has to describe the word. Partner B listens and guesses. Here's the rule. There's no Mandarin, only English. Okay? But it's okay. Remember at the beginning with your words, you used all Mandarin, right? With I have, who has, how much English did you use? Almost all. Right? You did a little translating. I let you use Google Translate at first. But when you were speaking, it was all English. And now, it's only English. Okay? So we are scaffolding. We're taking away the Mandarin, the native language. I'm taking it away from you. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I will let you, if you must translate, I won't get mad. But try not to. Try not to. No speaking in Mandarin. But if you need quick Google Translate, I'm okay. Okay? Try not to, but if you have to, it's okay. But no speaking in Mandarin. Okay? Deal?
Deal.
Say deal? So let's practice. Okay, so if I am standing here, I want you to describe that word, but you cannot say the word. Don't say the word. And I'm going to guess. So how would you describe it? It's a shape, okay? It has 4 sides. 4 right, square.
Yes.
What if I said a rectangle? Then what would you tell me?
Or same size.
Same sides or equal sides. Okay, so you have to keep telling me more until I guess the right word. Okay? What about this? So now we would switch, and the next person, but I'm going to, because we're practicing, it's me again. So switch. Okay. All right, so tell me. It's 1/100th of a meter, centimeter. Okay, you can say it's a unit of measure, length, right, to give lots of examples. Okay? Understand? Okay. So I'm going to number you off. We're going to start in a different place so you have a different partner. So again, we'll do, I think we can do 1 through 9 and you'll be in a different group this time, okay? So 1, 2, 6, 7,
8,
9,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
oh, 8, okay, and 9. Okay. So 1s, raise your hand. You are going to meet over here. 9s, raise your hand. You're going to meet over here. So I want you to line up in order, facing your partner. One of you on this side of the desk, one of you on this side of the desk. Okay? Stand up and move. 1's this way, 9's that way. You may bring your phone. You may bring your phone for emergency translation. So everyone line up here. Everyone up here. Same row. Same row. So 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come up here, 1s and 2s. Over here. 1s and 2s over here. And scoot down. 3s right here. 3s right here. 4s, 5s, 6, 7s, 8, 9. Good? Okay. Everybody got? Point to your partner. Point to your partner. Do you know your partner's name? Ask your partner's name. Okay, everyone look at me. Everyone look at me. This side is A. A's, raise your hand. A's, raise your hand. This side is B. B's, raise your hand. B's, raise your hand. Okay, who is going first? So A's are the talker. B's are the guesser. Okay? B's do not look. Do not turn around. Or you fail. Okay? Do not turn around. Ready? Go. Only English. Only English. Good job. If you got the answer, if your partner got the answer, raise their hand. If they don't have it yet, keep going. It's okay. Okay, so because I don't want you cheating, can you two partners move towards the back? No, go back to the, all four, walk backwards to the back of the room. Because I think you can hear each other, so I'm going to spread you out. So I'll walk there. These four here, come up here. Yep, go all the way to the back. All four of you go all the way to the back. Come up this way. Up to the front. All of them front. Move front. Move front. Move front. All four. Yes. Move all four. Scoot down. Scoot down. Scoot down. Scoot down. Two. Move back. Move back. Scoot down. Now maybe you can't hear each other so well, okay? Okay, so we're going to do the same partner. A is going to go again, okay? So don't switch it. A is going to go again. Ready? B's, don't look. Don't look, B's. Okay. If your partner gets it, raise your hand. Okay. Go ahead and switch. So change places. Yeah, if you have to go around the desk, I'm sorry. Did some exercise. Okay, you ready? So now who is the talker? B's. A's, don't turn around. Ready? Your partner has it, raise their hand. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, ready, go. You cannot say these words. You cannot say these words.
Okay. Right triangle. Right triangle.
If your partner has it, raise their hand. So it was trickier. Use gestures. Use gestures if they didn't get it. Use gestures. Use your arms. Okay, done. All right, say thank you to your partner and go back to the seat. I love Okay, are your brains tired? A little? We're almost done. So talk it out. This is a good time to practice using the language and think of new sentences. So I didn't give you the sentences. You had to think of the sentences. I didn't give you the scaffolding, right? I took it away. So it gets harder, but I think you did okay. So give yourselves a round of applause. Good job. Okay, so we would use that at the end of a lesson to review and to practice, okay? We're not going to do this activity because it takes a long time, but I'm going to give you an example of authentic. So authentic means real. We talked about that. Find an example of. You would take your camera, and your students would take a camera or phone, and they'd have to find an example of different shapes or angles. So for instance, what do you see here? A cup. What shapes do you see?
A circle.
There's a circle. What else?
Yeah.
A heart. And what are these? Parallel lines. It maybe doesn't look like it because of the angle, but they're parallel lines. Okay? So students would take a picture, describe the object, tell where they found it, define circle, parallel lines, and then create a PPT to review. And they'd walk around the whole school taking pictures. Okay? So a heart. What do you see in this one? There's a cube. Okay? So this is an example of authentic, real. So this is geometry in the real world. Okay? And that's what we would do kind of as a final project. So I could give you all these words that you have to go find. So I would say, everyone go find these words and take pictures. Maybe you go with a partner or by yourself. Okay? I would use this in the middle of a lesson, maybe at the end. I would apply, it could be in a performance assessment. Okay? This right here, any idea what that is?
Elephants.
Elephants, but what math term could we use? Smaller, same thing, bigger. What is that? A scale. Yeah, a scale, right? And then the last one here is language and content objectives. So every lesson you teach has to have language objectives and content objectives. Today, did we practice language, English? Yes?
Yes.
Did we practice listening?
Of course.
Speaking?
Yes.
Reading? Not writing, but in a classroom we would have written. Okay? Oh, a little bit writing. You did similar or different. A little
Yes.
writing. Okay. Did we practice math?
Of course.
Content? Yeah, a lot. Was it okay? I think. Do you know some more English, math and English? I think when you leave today, you know many math words in English now that you didn't at first, in just 2 hours, a short time. Okay? You want to focus on these levels when you are teaching. Creating, applying, analyzing. Don't just memorize words. That's not fun, it's not interesting, and it's not good for EMI. Okay? So we talked about that. I'm going to skip ahead. I will share this presentation with you. But our time is short, so I didn't leave very much time for questions. I'm sorry, Professor. We had too much fun. But I will, if we have questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, we have a few minutes for questions, if you have any questions.
Did you learn something today? Do you remember the 6 features? Try it in your head. What do you have to do for an EMI lesson? Vocabulary, teach vocabulary. What else? Scaffolding. What else? Language and content. Opportunities to practice. Yeah, we said that one. Here. Take a picture. What is that? Authentic. Authentic. And what one are we missing?
Pedagogy.
Oh, yes, interesting, engaging pedagogy. Right, stand up, talk to partners, move around, do things, gaze. Okay? Yes?
Do you think if works in a classroom where students have different English?
Absolutely. So I think in this group here, some people are more advanced and some people maybe are more nervous, even in this class. So, but everyone can do well at this. So remember, students who are lower proficiency, they just need more scaffolding. So I would give more sentence starters. I would give fewer vocabulary words. I would give more pictures. I would move a little slower. But yes, very beginner learners could still do this. We would just have to go slower.
What if in a classroom there are
More advanced?
beginners and more advanced?
That's a really good question. Does anyone have I have an answer, but does anyone know? What would you do? If there was this group of students is very advanced and this group is lower, what could I do?
Separate those groups and combine those for advanced and for advanced.
I could, so I could partner them up.
Yes.
That would be one way. I might give these students more sentence starters and these students less sentence starters. And I don't even have to say I'm giving you more. I would just write down sentence starters,
Just
give
give
it to them, and walk away.
Oh.
Or I might translate a couple words, translate, walk away, right? Or I might give these students maybe some harder words. So these students get shapes, these students get some of the harder terms, congruent, okay? And then these students can teach these students those harder words. If I'm teaching to the whole class exactly the same, it doesn't work. But that's also not good teaching. So in my classes, I usually have different groups. And some students would meet with me in a small group while the other students would do an activity too. Good question. Does that help?
Yes.
What else? Any questions? I do need my cards. So the I have, who has, maybe if you could hold those up in the air, we'll get those first. I have, who has. I need to get all of those or else the game doesn't work. Start with those. Then, if you can put all pictures together, all words together, all definitions together and stack. Pictures on top, then words, then definitions. Pictures, words, definitions. Pictures, words, definitions. I made them here. Because I didn't have time before I left. So and I don't have a printer, so I had to write them all. So it's taking you a hotel room. Yes, that's what I did.
Before we finish, can we present a certificate of award and gifts from the university to our speaker?
Thank you all. You were good students. Very smart. Very good at math. Thank you. Okay. If you have any questions, I'm happy to stay and answer.
Okay, thank you. So please give the cards to Natasha, the helper, and then mailbox and little gifts from Bilingual Research and Education Center. Thank you.